Welcome back, witches. Thanks for being here with me today. If you don't know me, my name is Steph. I'm the host of the Witch Wednesdays podcast, but I also have videos here on an inconsistent basis on YouTube. So I appreciate you hanging out with me today. And today I wanted to go over simplifying my life and my witchcraft. This is something that I talked about in June. I posted a whole series of videos when I kind of had a mid-year freak out of feeling a little bit overwhelmed and also in a slump at the same time. So I really wanted to clear out my goals list, figure out what I was doing, figure out the second half of the year, change up my goals. There was a lot that went into that process. And something that came up over and over again was the idea of simplifying my witchcraft in particular. I like to simplify my life, so I'm pretty much constantly doing that, taking things off my plate, off my calendar. If I just feel like I have too much going on, I like simple, slow living. So I have no problems doing that. And I needed that to apply to my witchcraft as well. So you saw me do a bunch of decluttering. And after that, I decided to switch up some things, specifically moving a lot of the stuff from the bookcase behind me over onto my desk, because I had some things that I would like to use in spell work and use more regularly, but when they were sitting over here, I just didn't reach for them. So I thought it would be helpful to redo my desk and be able to have those there, but without being overwhelming, because I get overwhelmed by clutter easily. Specifically, I started thinking about it because I did record a video. I talked about this last week, but I did record a video for Tanae, the Witch of Lupin Hollow, and her shadow work summit that is going on next month. I will have a link below if you want to sign up for that. It's totally free. And there are lots of different speakers that are going to be talking about different aspects of shadow work, like what it is and how to do it, all kinds of great stuff going on. And I recorded a video on decluttering as an aspect of shadow work, like some way to make it easier, because for me, the concept of shadow work when I first got started was like really overwhelming. And I'm a very tactile, tangible learner. So combining the like mental processes of shadow work with the physical of decluttering just made the most sense in my mind. So I had done that before. Like I already knew those things and worked through that specifically in my closet, but there's lots of places that I could apply. And turns out needed to apply it to my witchcraft practice. I just wasn't using things and I wasn't feeling good about that. And I felt overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that I had. And then when I would sit down to do a spell, I was just thinking that I have 17 different things that could be a correspondence for, say, prosperity or happiness. Like there were so many that I was like, how do I even choose? And normally I would let myself be like drawn to something, but I couldn't even feel my own intuition through it. I was just like, this is too much stuff. And it feels wasteful. It feels like I'm not using it. It feels disconnected from my practice because it felt like I couldn't figure things out and I couldn't decide what I actually liked doing. So sometimes I would just revert back to what I've always done, and then that wasn't like working as well as it used to. And then some of the times I just wouldn't do anything at all, because I have that perfectionist tendency where if I can't do it correct the first time, I just won't try at all. Bad, terrible habit. Shadow work needed for that, for sure. And then if you watched my last book reviews video, I got my hands on Spellcraft and Spellwork by Ari, the Oak Witch, here on YouTube. And it was such a helpful resource. It's really great for beginners because it goes over all of the beginner information for really getting started in witchcraft, but was also incredibly helpful at this point because I had things that I wanted to change and I knew I wasn't happy with where my practice was. And so reading that gave me a lot of ideas, because she went back and talked about like figuring out what your beliefs are and answering some questions as to what you think about things in the universe and why you think that. And I was like, oh, I haven't thought about these in literally years, and my answers have changed. So figuring that out, reading that, very helpful for my journey and just like working through that, and helped me figure out the things to simplify. If you like a video or have any specific questions on how my views have changed over the years, because I have been doing this witchcraft thing for a long time and my views have absolutely changed over the last 10, 15, 20 years of what I believed back when I was a teenager to now, completely different. So if you would like to see a video specifically on that, I feel like I could talk about that for a long time. Do let me know in the comments, because I could make that happen. Just no, there's no right or wrong. It's not like I know more and I was doing things terribly, in my 20s and now I know better. Like, it's not that. It's just my own personal views from where my life is, and things that I've learned and how things have unfolded in my own life are different than what they were when I was in, my early 20s. So what I believe surrounding that and how that influences my witchcraft practice has changed. So with that said, I decided to do a little tarot spread, a show me the way tarot spread of, when you're at a crossroads and you need to make a decision. That's kind of what I was feeling. I wasn't sure. I felt good about the simplifying, but I'm like, did I do enough? Am I on the right track? Where do I go now? Should I stick with this and like what I have? Did I do the right thing, like simplifying the stuff? Or do I need to go further? Do I need to add new things in? Just what's the answer here? So I decided to do a tarot spread for that. It's very simple. And I am going to head over to my desk and show you that. So part of my simplifying and cleanup process was to move some of the items over here that were on the bookcase, just to make it, first of all, organized, but mostly to pull out things and put them front and center so I would remember to use them. And a big part of that was the crystals that you see here and the herbs. They were over on the bookcase, which looked nice, but just made it so I wouldn't always pull them out and wouldn't use them as much. And now that they're right here, which is sort of the surface that I work at, it is a visual reminder just to start using up all of these things. And I really cleared out the space so it's not crowded. I have a little like work surface here, but I can move that and put like a cloth down if I want to, but otherwise keeping it very simple. I do have one book over here. I have Spellcraft and Spellwork by Ari the Oak Witch, and I talked about this in my last book reviews video, but I have specifically been using this in this sort of reset process because there are such great journal prompts in here and things to think about for the beginner witch, but I think that they also really apply when you are changing up what you're doing and rethinking about things. And there's some questions in here about like basic beliefs that I haven't thought about in so long, and I found them really helpful to work through. So I'm keeping this book here as I figure things out. So let's jump in then and do the little tarot spread that I'm thinking of. And I'm going to be using the Antique Anatomy Tarot for this one. That is just what I'm feeling called to at the moment. So this particular tarot spread comes from the Llewellyn guidebook for the year. And I thought this would be a good option to do right now. This is for showing you the way, a tarot spell for any time that you feel like you are at a crossroads. So my sort of crossroads and the question that I'm asking, like a little bit of help here, is like I'm on this journey to simplify. So my question of like which way to go is really asking, is this simplifying the right thing to do? Am I heading in the right direction with the things that I'm getting rid of out of my craft and then incorporating into my craft? Or is that doing a little too much, and do I need to go slower, not get rid of so many things? Maybe I need to add more things in instead. Just see if I am making sort of the right choices here at the moment. So I have these cards here, and I'm going to shuffle the cards, and while I shuffle, I'm going to say the words, show me the path to take, show me the move to make, show me what I seek, show me it's now time to speak. So once I have the cards sufficiently shuffled and I feel like it's ready, I'm going to take off the first 4 cards off the top of the deck. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these 4 cards are representing each one of the paths of the crossroad. So what I'm looking for then is this 5th card. And this 5th card represents the center of the crossroad and the answer to my question. So I'm only focusing on this card. So let's flip this and see what it says. So we've got the Hanged Man here, and that is pretty well in line with what I'm thinking, because the Hanged Man is the card of taking a break, realizing that you are in the right place that you need to be right now, and that sometimes you have to let go of things. This is surrender, sacrifice, patience. In the upright position, it's like a positive sign of letting go, as well as taking time to reflect. So those are all things in line with this idea that I have of simplifying, of letting go of some items, like the decluttering that I did, and being able to move forward. But right now is just taking a break, reflection, let things go slow. You are where you need to be, on the right track. So just go ahead with sacrificing some of these things and reflect on what that means and where that will go in the future. So an interesting reading that was pretty accurate into what I am doing. So I thought that was a good answer but the only part about the Hanged Man card is that it's one of those cards that says patience. And those are all my least favorite cards in a tarot deck because I'm such an impatient person. And I always dislike when I get those. I know some people don't like to get like the Tower or Death or like ones that look scarier, but for me, the worst ones are the ones that suggest patience is needed. I'm so bad at that. But it is a good, like positive reading that like I did the right thing. My instincts were correct in simplifying. And now it's just, let's slow, let's take a pause and work with what we have before throwing anything else into the mix and changing a bunch of things up, which is good, because I am still on a no-spend year specifically related to witchcraft supplies and books. So I can't go to the witch store and add a bunch of new things in and try a bunch of different items and buy more supplies. So that is the table for now. However, my birthday's in November, and then I might just ask for things for Christmas. We'll see. We'll do another tarot reading before then. But let me know how your witchcraft is going. I have been talking with my patrons over on Patreon, and the month of August I posted some spells for like motivation and creativity, and there were a lot of people that said that they are also in a slump and trying to figure out where to go next and what to do. So I feel you, we all feel you, if you are in that same boat, and maybe that Crossroads tarot spread can help you as well. If you have any questions about it, do let me know in the comments. But otherwise, that's everything for this week. I will see you next week.